You were not built to be comfortable. Every instinct you possess, every strength buried inside you, every capacity for courage or resilience or endurance exists because your ancestors lived without comfort. They endured cold, hunger, danger, and uncertainty. And those conditions forged them. Comfort, on the other hand, erodes. It weakens what is not used. It lulls you into believing that ease is the natural state of life. It is not. Comfort is a recent invention, and it is quietly dismantling the very qualities that make you capable of living fully. In the next 18 minutes, you will discover why the life you have been conditioned to seek may be the very thing preventing you from becoming who you are meant to be. You will understand how ancient philosophy speaks directly to the modern struggle, and you will learn how to reclaim strength not through aggression, but through intentional discomfort, through discipline, and through the quiet refusal to let ease define you. Let us begin with a simple question. Why do you avoid discomfort? The immediate answer seems obvious. Pain is unpleasant. Hardship is exhausting. Struggle feels like something to escape. But if you look closer, you will notice something unexpected. The moments in your life when you grew the most, when you discovered capacities you did not know you had, when you felt most alive, were not moments of comfort. They were moments of resistance. The difficult conversation. The grueling project. The loss that forced you to rebuild. Strength does not emerge from safety. It emerges from strain. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote his meditations not in a palace during times of peace, but in a military tent during war. He did not philosophize about hardship from a distance. He lived it. And what he wrote was not theory. It was survival wisdom. He reminded himself daily that the obstacle is the way, that what stands in the path becomes the path. That resistance is not something to avoid, but something to use. This is not motivational rhetoric. It is structural truth. The muscle grows under load. The mind sharpens under pressure. The soul deepens under trial. But modernity has inverted this. We have been taught that the goal of life is to eliminate friction, to optimize comfort, to seek convenience, ease, pleasure, and security. And so we build lives that require less and less of us. We automate effort. We outsource difficulty. We medicate discomfort, both physical and emotional. And in doing so, we weaken ourselves. Not because comfort is evil, but because comfort without counterbalance turns you soft. It turns you reactive. It turns you fragile. Consider the body. If you lie in bed for weeks, your muscles atrophy. Your bones lose density. Your cardiovascular system weakens. The body, sensing no demand, adapts by reducing capacity. This is not malfunction. This is efficiency. The body only maintains what it must. The same is true of the mind. If you avoid challenge, avoid fear, avoid uncertainty, your mental resilience atrophies. Your tolerance for frustration shrinks. Your capacity to endure diminishes. You become, in the most literal sense, less capable. Now consider how you spend your days. How much of your life is designed to avoid discomfort? You wake to an alarm you resent. You scroll to delay the day. You seek distraction when boredom arises. You avoid difficult conversations. You procrastinate on hard tasks. You numb stress with food, with substances, with entertainment. And you tell yourself this is self-care. But it is not care. It is avoidance. And avoidance does not build strength. It borrows against it. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, practiced what he called voluntary discomfort. He would periodically live as though he had lost everything. He would eat plain food, wear simple clothing, sleep on a hard surface. Not to punish himself, but to remind himself that he could endure it. That comfort was not a necessity. That he was stronger than his circumstances. He was training his mind the way an athlete trains the body. Through deliberate exposure. Through rehearsal. Through the controlled embrace of what he feared. This is not asceticism for its own sake. It is preparation. Because life will bring discomfort whether you invite it or not. Loss will come. Failure will come. Pain will come. And if you have spent your life fleeing discomfort, you will have no foundation to stand on when it arrives. You will be undone not by the event, but by your inability to bear it. Strength is not the absence of suffering. It is the capacity to endure it without collapsing inward. But there is a deeper layer. Comfort does not only weaken you physically and mentally. It weakens you morally. When life is easy, When consequences are distant, when comfort insulates you from the results of your choices, it becomes easy to drift, to live passively, to prioritize pleasure over principle, to choose what feels good over what is good. Comfort makes you lazy not just in body, but in character. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became one of the most respected philosophers of Rome, taught that freedom is not the absence of constraint. It is the presence of self-mastery. He said that no one can make you feel anything without your consent, that your inner life is the only thing truly under your control. But to exercise that control, you must practice it. You must choose difficulty when ease is available. You must say no when yes would be easier. You must act according to your values even when it costs you something. This is the training ground of the soul. And here is the paradox. The more you seek comfort, the less peace you will have. Because comfort does not satisfy. It habituates. What felt luxurious last year feels baseline today. What once brought relief now brings restlessness. The hedonic treadmill spins faster the more you chase it. You are always one purchase, one vacation, one indulgence away from feeling complete, and you never arrive. Comfort promises fulfillment and delivers dependence. Contrast this with the person who has trained themselves to need less, who can sit with silence, who can endure boredom, who can face fear without flinching. That person is free, not because their life is easy, but because they are no longer ruled by the need for it to be. They have broken the tyranny of comfort, and in doing so, they have reclaimed their agency. Now, let me ask you something. If you believe in the value of what we are exploring here, if this resonates with something true inside you, take a moment and subscribe to this channel. Not for me, but for yourself. Because this work, this kind of reflection, requires repetition. It requires return. Philosophy is not something you learn once. It is something you practice daily. And I would be honored to be part of that practice for you. Also, leave a comment below. Tell me one area of your life where you have been choosing comfort over growth. Not to judge yourself, but to name it. Because naming it is the first step toward changing it. Let us continue. We have established that comfort weakens and that discomfort strengthens. But the question remains, how do you choose discomfort intentionally without becoming reckless or self-destructive? Because there is a difference between productive hardship and pointless suffering. The answer lies in understanding the distinction between pain with purpose and pain without it. The Stoics did not glorify suffering. They were not masochists. They simply recognized that suffering is inevitable, and that the only variable within your control is how you meet it. So they trained. They prepared. They exposed themselves to difficulty in measured doses so that when real hardship came, they would not be overwhelmed. This is the same logic behind physical training. You stress the muscle so that it adapts. You do not injure it. You challenge it. In modern life, this might look like cold exposure, like fasting, like endurance training, like public speaking when it terrifies you, like having the hard conversation instead of avoiding it, like sitting with your anxiety instead of medicating it away, like doing the work you have been putting off. These are not punishments. They are rehearsals. They are reminders that you are more capable than you think. But let us go deeper. Because the real enemy is not comfort itself. It is the illusion that comfort provides. The illusion that if you can just arrange your external circumstances perfectly, you will finally be at peace. This is the lie modernity tells you. That happiness is a destination. That once you achieve enough, earn enough, secure enough, you will arrive. And so you spend your life optimizing conditions. But the peace never comes. Because peace is not a condition. It is a practice. The Stoics understood this completely. They recognized that external circumstances are largely beyond your control. You do not control the economy, the weather, other people, illness, loss, or death. You control only your responses, your judgments, your interpretations, your actions. And this, paradoxically, is liberating. Because it means that your well-being does not depend on the world cooperating with you. It depends on you mastering yourself. This is where the concept of amor fati enters. Love of fate. Not resignation. Not passive acceptance. But the active embrace of reality as it is. The refusal to waste energy wishing things were different. The recognition that everything that happens, even the painful things, can be used, can be transformed, can become fuel. This is not optimism. It is realism tempered by agency. You do not pretend the obstacle is not there. You find the way through it. Or better yet, you use it to become stronger. Consider failure. Most people avoid failure because they associate it with shame, with inadequacy, with proof that they are not enough. But failure is only shameful if you believe your worth is determined by outcomes. The Stoics did not believe this. They believed your worth is determined by your character, by your effort, by your intentions, by whether you acted with virtue. And failure, in this framework, is simply information. It tells you what does not work. It reveals where you need to grow. It strips away illusion and forces you to confront reality. This is invaluable. The entrepreneur who launches a business and fails learns more than the one who never tries. The artist who creates and is criticized grows more than the one who hides their work. The person who risks rejection and is refused builds more courage than the one who plays it safe. Comfort keeps you ignorant. Discomfort teaches. And if you reframe discomfort as education, it loses its power to paralyze you. But there is a cost to this path. And it must be named honestly. Choosing discomfort, choosing discipline, choosing growth over ease will often mean choosing loneliness. Because most people are not on this path. Most people are optimizing for comfort. And when you stop doing that, you will no longer fit neatly into their world. Your choices will seem strange. Your priorities will seem extreme. Your refusal to indulge will seem judgmental, even when it is not. And you will feel the friction of that. This is where many people turn back. They begin the work. They start to change. But the social cost becomes too high. The discomfort of being misunderstood, of being alone, of standing apart, becomes greater than the discomfort they were trying to escape. And so they return to comfort. They rejoin the crowd. They tell themselves it was not worth it. But it was. And they know it. And the regret of that retreat will haunt them. Epictetus said that if you wish to improve, you must be content to appear foolish and stupid in external matters. This is the price. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You will be dismissed. And you must be willing to bear it. Not because you are superior, but because the path you are on requires it. Because integrity is more valuable than approval. Because self-respect is more valuable than comfort. And here is the reward. When you stop needing the world to be easy, you discover that you are enough to handle what comes. When you stop fleeing discomfort, you find that it cannot break you. When you stop seeking comfort as the highest good, you realize that meaning, purpose, and strength are far more satisfying. You trade shallow pleasure for deep fulfillment. And it is not even close. One fades. The other lasts. Now let us bring this into the practical realm of daily life. Because philosophy without application is entertainment. It is not wisdom. Wisdom is philosophy lived. So how do you live this? How do you build a life that trains strength rather than avoids discomfort? You begin small. You do not overhaul everything at once. You choose one area, one habit, one pattern, and you introduce intentional discomfort. You wake up 15 minutes earlier, even when you do not want to. You take a cold shower. You skip the snack you do not need. You make the phone call you have been avoiding. You write the difficult email. You sit in silence for 5 minutes without distraction. These are small acts, but they are not trivial. They are the daily training of the will. And the will, like the body, grows stronger with use. Each time you choose the harder thing, you reinforce a neural pathway. You build evidence for yourself that you are capable. You shift your identity from someone who avoids discomfort to someone who uses it. And over time, this becomes who you are. Not through a single heroic act, but through 1,000 small choices compounded. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you should not hope for the perfect set of circumstances. You should hope instead for the strength to meet whatever comes. This is the shift. From trying to control the world to mastering yourself. From demanding ease to building capacity. From seeking comfort to seeking growth. And when you make that shift, everything changes. Not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. But let us address the shadow side. Because there is a danger in this philosophy if it is misunderstood. The danger is that you use it to punish yourself. That you turn discomfort into a form of self-flagellation. That you mistake suffering for virtue. This is not Stoicism. This is self-hatred dressed in philosophical language. And it will destroy you. The Stoics practiced discomfort to build resilience, not to prove their worth. They embraced hardship to prepare for life, not to escape from themselves. They chose difficulty strategically, not compulsively. And they always returned to the question, does this serve my character? Does this make me more just, more courageous, more wise, more temperate? If the answer is no, then the discomfort is pointless. It is ego. It is performance. It is not philosophy. So you must be honest with yourself. Why are you choosing the hard thing? Is it because it serves your growth, or because you are trying to earn your own approval? Is it because it builds strength, or because you believe you deserve punishment? The difference matters. One path leads to freedom. The other leads to exhaustion. There is also the question of balance. Because while comfort can weaken, perpetual hardship can break. You are not invincible. You are human. And humans require rest, connection, beauty, and joy. The goal is not to eliminate all comfort. It is to ensure that comfort does not eliminate all strength. It is to make sure that you can endure hardship when it comes, not to seek hardship at all times. You train in discomfort so that you can live in peace, not the other way around. And here is the final truth, the one that ties everything together. Strength is not about dominating others. It is not about proving anything. It is not about winning. Strength is the quiet capacity to remain yourself when the world is pressing you to collapse. It is the ability to act according to your values even when it costs you. It is the courage to face what you fear and not be ruled by it. It is the resilience to lose everything and still stand. This is the strength that matters. And it cannot be bought. It cannot be given. It can only be built. Through time. Through practice. Through the deliberate choice to do what is hard. So I leave you with this. Not a summary, but a question. What would your life look like if you stopped running from discomfort? If you stopped arranging everything for ease and started arranging it for growth? If you trained your will the way an athlete trains their body? If you met each day not as a problem to be solved, but as an opportunity to become stronger? You already know the answer. You have always known it. Comfort is seductive, but it does not build you. Discomfort is harsh, but it forges you. And the choice is yours. Not once, but every single day. Choose wisely. Choose consciously. And choose with the understanding that who you become is the sum of what you are willing to endure. The question is not whether life will be difficult. It will. The question is whether you will be strong enough to meet it. And the answer to that question is being written right now, in the small choices you make when no one is watching. Choose strength. Not because it is easy, but because you were built for it.